cannot buy. Send me a love that you cannot mix. One is the joy that you cannot waste, and the other one price that you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way when you cannot see. Man with this system, he cannot pray. I need to find relief.
Hey family, welcome back to another episode of Peace of Mind, where we value our health, our body, and our time. And today I am talking to you about my 2023 year-end review recap. And I really just wanted to take the time to express to you how I felt about the year, what was going on throughout the year. Maybe you'll find some resonating tips of similar things that you were going through or experiences that you were going throughout the year, and maybe we can have some further conversations about what that looks like. So I have some bullet points on my phone, but the first thing that I definitely wanted to talk about was God and my religion. So more specifically, I think that I strayed away from God when I was in college, and I really was just taking the time to figure out life on my own, not putting too much pressure on myself, not putting too much hostility on myself, even though that's really not the right word, but really just taking the time to discover who Chris is, what he wants, what he needs. And it was evident flowing. There was good moments, there were challenging moments, there were hard moments, there were tiring moments. But I think 2023 mid-year really taught me that I wanted God in my life, and in all honesty that I needed God in my life. And when I started relying on him through everything and praying through everything, even the littlest of things, I've noticed that my life got so much more fruitful. I became so much more grateful. I became so much more appreciative for the little things in my life. And I did that through his word and through his journey, but more specifically tangible actions and thoughts. I was journaling a lot on a day-to-day basis. I got a Jesus is Calling devotional book from my friend Claudia Wooten, which has been really, really great. I have had the opportunity and ability to go to therapy twice on two different circumstances and situations, and that has been phenomenal. And I know that people really see therapy as a weakness more so than it really is a strength, to be able to be emotionally vulnerable, emotionally intelligent, emotionally aware, and be able to really process and heal from a lot of childhood trauma that might be present. So I think that God is the biggest thing, the number one thing. My perspective even going into 2024 is relying on him through any and everything that I might go through, and realizing that there is nothing that he puts in my path that I'm not able to accomplish. And it gives me a different level of confidence and awareness and ability to handle tasks when I am going and knowing that he is right beside me and that he didn't give me anything that I wasn't able to accomplish. And honorable shout out I mentioned to the Bible app and the Bible plans, more specifically doing the verse of the days and the prayers of the days and Bible plans with different family, friends, and loved ones has really gave me different perspectives on so many different identities of life and in life, of what I want, what that looks like, and what I need. So I definitely think that that was a huge component of what I was going through in life, and just what really stuck out for me and to me. So I love that. The next thing is Chris's growth. I have heard a lot of people this year really just say, Chris, you're different. Chris, you changed. Chris, you matured. Chris, you became emotionally aware and emotionally intelligent. I'm just so thankful and grateful for that, because again, I feel like God does not put anything in our path that we're not able to handle and accomplish. So I really think that he was pushing me to a moment of growth, a moment of self-reflection, a moment of shifting of my mindset and perspective. And I think that it took something really awakening for me to realize how can I get out of my current mindset, or how can I climb up and continuously grow and learn and be able to give back and serve and show up for Chris the best way that I know how. So that has honestly been extremely grateful and thankful. I'm proud of my growth in terms of my spirituality. I'm proud of my growth in terms of setting boundaries and setting up for myself, regardless of if that's loved ones or not, or in the workplace. I am proud of Chris for wanting to genuinely make a difference, and then actually putting in tangible and actionable steps to reach that difference. So I think that that has been a huge and a big theme in 2023, and I'm just very grateful and blessed that I have the opportunity to positively speak on that. I did not necessarily accomplish every single thing that I wanted to by year end, but I do feel good with where I landed and and with where I'm going in 2024 because there's still more time on the clock. I got another day. I'm hopeful to have another year and be able to make a similar video like this and seeing like where the podcast went and where it takes me in the end of December of 2024. So stay tuned for that too. I have big feelings, big thoughts, great things of just like what's going on in life. So I'm really looking forward to it. I do want to switch gears a little bit and talk like about family and challenges. Like I feel like I've learned and grown in so many different areas and identity, but I did have challenges like with my family, just like anybody else does. And I'm not going to sit here and go into the A through Z of like what that is, but I really think it just gave me the opportunity to strengthen my level of communication with my family or with people in general, and really being uncomfortable in comfortable situations and really having the opportunities and thoughts of communicating with your loved ones through like the challenging seasons or throughout the hard times, and conversations you really don't want to have, might avoid having, might feel easier or better to just act like nothing is going on. But in all honesty, I feel like a lot of growth comes from the ability to have those conversations with those people that you love, but might not necessarily like hearing the answer of what is on their mind or what's in their heart. So I definitely think that I undergo that a little bit. And in terms of like how I did that was really relying on God. And that's going to be a constant theme throughout this year of 2023 and my following bullet points, because in previous times I would really just do things. I would avoid things, or I would just say, hey, this is a situation right now. I'm going to focus on like what is positive, what is optimistic, but that's not necessarily the only option, right? I don't want to negate my responsibilities or my actions or other opportunities that's going on. I want to make sure that I'm still showing up and doing what's best, doing everything that I can without feeling drained in my heart as well. So I would say that about family. I know, but I love my family. I love them to death. I love everybody in my family, but I know that we're still humans too. We're still people, and just like me, even if people have optimistic and positive energy, we know that family can get on our nerves just the same as anybody else. So knowing how to navigate those situations, if they come about or when they come about, was really big for me and a constant theme for 2023. And parallel to that, same thing with friends. Now, friends hurts a little bit harder for me because I feel like family, you don't choose, friends you do, and like friends are my family away from family or in addition to family. So like when I'm having troubles or challenges with my like with my friends, it hurts a lot because just who Chris is as a person, he really values his friends. He loves his friends, and he takes time to like keep up with his friends' life to make sure that they're good, to make sure that they're great, because it's just who he is as a person innately. It's the way that he grew up in the environment that he was exposed to. So that's something that he likes carrying throughout his lifetime. So when I was having some challenges with some of my core friends, it was what felt like hell on earth, which, not to be over dramatic or like I'm at my wit's end, but it's really near and dear to my heart in a very vulnerable area and spot. So when I was going through those things, I was really trying to figure out what God was trying to teach me, what he was trying to say to me, what he was trying to get me to learn and understand, because I definitely think that it takes two to tango. And in that specific dance, I was left-footed the entire time. So I learned how to be a better friend, how to be a better person. I learned how to communicate more effectively with my emotions. And I'm not necessarily saying I'm the best or the greatest or maybe even good, but I definitely have grown what feels like 110%. And that's all I can ask of Chris right now, and to have that continuous trend and pattern of growth, because I want to be the best person. I want to eventually be that person that someone else might say, hey, I know I'm not good at this and it's hard to do this, but what is your advice? What is your thoughts? What is your tips? What is your experiences that might necessarily help me in what I have going on in my path? So that's what I look to serve. Cool. The next thing that I want to talk about is being career oriented. So I graduated in May of 2022. We are heading into 2024, so it's almost been 2 years since college graduation, which is crazy, in about 5 months. But I've learned that I like my job. It's cool. I love the benefits. I love the stability of my finances, of my notoriety, but I want to ensure that I'm fulfilled in all areas of my life, and that the impact that I'm making is an impact that is on my heart, right? Because I do believe that I'm making impacts to like business to businesses or business to corporates, but I want to make an impact that God has placed on my heart, that it's naturally on my heart. So I know that I'm in the right environments, I'm in the right spaces. So I think that's just something to be mindful of. But also my career has taught me so a lot thus far, just like intellectually and growing as a human, growing as a person, interacting with my coworkers, knowing how to navigate certain situations based off of other big personalities like in the workspace and environment. So I can't even fathom and put into a precise statement of words how huge my consulting experience has been, like overall and completely. Like it has been a blessing because I have been able to take so many functional technical skills away from the experiences that I've been exposed to, and really just learn and grow and how to navigate certain spaces like as time goes on too. So I definitely am open to continuous growth, continuous learning, continuous like development, because I want to be a student of life, a learner of life, and I think that having that mindset genuinely prepares you to handle and like take tasks in, regardless of if you might necessarily be open to it or not in the first place. So that's what I would say about my career orientation. And for people looking for that, I genuinely say like sometimes you don't know the answer, and it's okay not to know the answer. Like take time to just explore, be lost, get lost in the sauce, be okay with being lost in the sauce. Like I don't know what's going on right now, but I know like as I keep going, I will figure it out as time goes on if you're genuinely like adamant about doing that. So I think that that's a huge lesson and important element in peace to know when undiscovering new trails, new paths, when you're living like in the current state of your environment and trying to figure out what's best for your characteristics, values, and like personality traits. So I definitely want to include that tidbit in peace, which kind of shifting gears again gets me to my next thing of 2023. I feel like I have picked up podcasting and roller skating extremely consistently this year, which I'm very like proud of myself for doing so, because those are two things that I really, really love, and two things that are like near and dear to my heart just because of the therapeutic aspect of both of those things. And like roller skating specifically, I generally don't even know how to explain it. Like it feels like I am away from the world. I have the opportunity to like let loose, express like who I am as a person, or maybe some of the challenges, frustrations, or even positive moments that I go through in the day-to-day life. And like for the most part, I'm typically by myself having my music on, or sometimes I am having like skate friends, just like learning and still growing and seeing the other skaters who have been in the community for so long and asking them for tips on how to like continuously get better. And it's like a constant challenge and growth and practice, but like when I learn a new move and feel good about the move, it makes me feel good about myself as a person. So I'm glad that I picked that back up in 2023. I released another podcast episode just on like roller skating in itself and kind of like how to get into roller skating and like what that looks like. If you're interested or curious in that field. And with podcasting, I've been doing podcasting since probably sophomore, junior year of college, on and off. But I think like the last year and a half is when I kind of like have been focused on it when I moved to Houston, when I started valuing like the communication aspect and the mentorship aspect and the giving back to people, or just sharing my experiences is the biggest thing. But overall, what I was saying about like the podcasting and the roller skating was those are two really big hobbies of mine that I'm extremely thankful for and appreciative of, and really am glad that I have the ability to like serve in those communities and also like teach other people like different skating moves, or just like providing other people with my perspective. So there's that. Shifting gears again, I think that this is a great opportunity to focus on peace of mind. So like I was just saying, Previously, my podcast name was Free Game. I did that because it was supposed to serve in a mentorship aspect of giving back to people and sharing like my experiences and like just my exposure of what I've gone through in life and allowing other people to like hear that and make whatever decision they feel is best for them or is on their mind or is on their heart at the time. But Peace of Mind for 2024, I really want the purpose of this platform to serve as a well-being repository for mental health and best practices and resources for individuals and communities moving forward. So my plan is to like tailor the content that I'm making to individuals and communities that are looking for support in that disparity of their mental health, of their well-being, of tips and tricks of how to like optimize who they are as a person and be their best self, and have a lot of specialized individuals and people who are also just as passionate or people who have experience in this field to communicate to industries or to other people how much of a positive impact that mental health advocacy and mental health prioritization has really transformed their lifestyle. So I'm really excited about that. I'm not putting too much pressure on myself, but I rebranded from Free Game to Peace of Mind. I did a subtle launch and a soft launch, but I plan on doing a hard launch on January 1st, basically saying the same thing and like keeping that in mind and in focus and start honing in on that and just narrowing it down, because the overall goal is for it to transform into a nonprofit organization with rotational programs and supportive scholarships for people who grew up in an environment or people who are currently facing challenges with their mental health and might not necessarily have the funds or resources or allocations for therapy or for journals or for those toolkits that they might necessarily want to succeed. So that's the goal. And the overall take of this podcast is I want you to know that Peace of Mind is a rebrand that is coming from Free Game in 2024. I'm taking it by storm, taking it one day at a time. And again, the overall purpose of the platform is to serve as a well-being repository for mental health, best practices, and resources for individuals and communities in the following year as we continuously like narrow down like the scopes and the pillars and the values of what this podcast is and what we want it to transform to in the future, God willing, and what he's placing on my mind and on my heart as they go on. And I want you all to know that regardless of how your year has went, whether that's extremely positive, extremely challenging, influx of both, that if you have the opportunity to move better, to do better, to constantly grow, even despite some of the challenges that you might not even have solutions for right now, that is something that you, and we can be grateful for and appreciative of, and having the ability and power to become better one single step at a time. So without further ado, that is a 2023 year-end recap and review of Chris Clements. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Peace of Mind, where we value our health, our body, and our time. Thank you for watching.
I need to find relief.